Alrighty. So we're going to get this started just real quick. It's a free comedy show. He does have a tip jar over here, so if you guys want to throw some cash at him, he's got his Venmo, his PayPal, his Cash App, all linked there. These are all jokes, so don't take anything too seriously. Be respectful, and welcome the creator of J1 Comedy, Jordan Jones.
Yeah! Jordan.
How you guys doing tonight?
Solid. Good.
So I want to start off by saying shame on all you guys for coming out here. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We're supposed to be social distance, 6 feet apart, wearing masks. What's wrong with you people? Actually, hold that thought for a second, guys.
Ooh.
Welcome to my peaceful protest, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out here.
Yeah.
You guys all look fucking fantastic. Some obviously more than others. Like me, I look great. When I first started doing stand-up comedy, my mom told me she didn't like it very much. She said I was too vulgar and that I talked about sex a little too much. And you know what? I want to try to avoid that tonight. I'm going to start off with a story for you guys instead. So I was fucking this fat bitch the other day. Kidding. That's not how I'm going to start. I want to start off with a PSA. Women, stop posting on social media. You take a picture where the focus is clearly meant to be on your ass or your tits, and then you get mad at guys when we focus on your ass or your tits. And you know what? That's not fair. Ironically, the women that tend to do this the most are the women that have no ass and no tits. The type of women that you see and you want to go, don't worry, son, keep promoting your OnlyFans. You'll be a real woman one day. I wish I could have an OnlyFans, man. It'd make my life so much easier. Take one picture, make thousands of dollars. I had to spend weeks writing, practicing, and promoting this show, and I'm gonna still lose more money on it than I make. Some of you might think that my jokes are a little sexist. Let me just say, just like most guys my age, I love women. My only issue is mostly with women who are my age, they tend to overreact over guys that they like. Like you listen to a girl talking about her new boyfriend and you'll hear, yeah, he's really sweet, he's really cute, but he's working at kind of a dead-end job, and he's kind of short, and I'm not sure how his family feels about me. A guy gets a girlfriend his buddies don't like, and all you'll hear him say is, oh, well, at least she's nice to me. Like, that's how starved guys are for positive attention nowadays, you know? Like, you want to know how far a guy will go for a girl he likes? I walked past a dude who was listening to his girlfriend rant about how her boyfriend was mad that they were hanging out. And this is what I heard from their conversation. Yeah, he told me that he was jealous, but I told him that we're not anything, we're never gonna be anything, we went on one date, it was horrible, so it's never gonna happen again. And this dude's just sitting there taking it. Like, he has the fakest smile on his face you've ever seen, like, I made eye contact with this poor bastard, and I went, don't worry, dude, I understand. I've been there. I kept walking. Like, that's why we tell you, ladies, that we don't care how you look when you ask, because it's true, we really don't. All we want is someone that will make us smile. And by the way, ladies, if you want to know if you're the hot one in your friend group, keep this in the back of your mind. If, when you get a new boyfriend, your friends try to keep you guys apart, try to get in your way when you're trying to hang out, try to stop you from talking to him, you're the hot one. Because on my 19 years of being on this earth, I've only ever seen ugly chicks do this. And by the way, ugly chicks, stop doing this. Leave your hot friends alone. Chances are we're only going to be there 2 or 3 months. So why does it matter? It's time to share. This whole COVID thing's been kind of rough, no? It's been interesting to see how it plays out, though. With all these protests and movements. I actually saw up in Huntington Beach they were protesting the movement, and the mayor took a picture of the protest, posted it up on his Twitter saying, it seems our citizens have drawn a line in the sand. And the governor of California was pissed. Which may seem kind of ridiculous until you realize that picture he posted showed 10-foot letters literally drawn in the sand that spelled out, fuck Gavin Newsom. Seems a little warranted now if you ask me. I don't think that quarantine's been good for everybody though. Mostly kids, you know. I'm glad that schools are opening back up because I figure the more time that kids spend in school is less time I have to interact with those little bastards. I'm not good with kids, you know? I get a little too angry too quick. Especially if they're online for whatever reason. Like my buddies and I will be trying to enjoy a video game. It's like 12:30 in the afternoon. And then little Timmy plugs his mic in. Now suddenly we have to deal with a 10-year-old racist who screams the N-word every 3 seconds. Like we didn't sign up for this. But now the Xbox is a babysitter because he figured out how to use the internet too early. Daddy's at work and mommy's over having drinks with the neighbors for the 5th time this week. Of course, I'm no better than little Timmy, because as soon as he beats me in the video game, I'm plugging my mic in, calling him a faggot. Now, I know some of you might get all up in arms over me using that word. Let me just say, I love gay people. I even dated a lesbian, you know, before she got confused. My buddy actually was dating a same girl at the time, and so she broke up with me to go and date his ex, so we're both LGBT lovers. Well, actually, hold on. Look, I support the movement, but I'm not gay myself, all right? My only issue is when they try to shove it down your throat. That came out wrong. Hold on. Listen, go fuck guys, just don't come and fuck me, all right? That's how either. Listen, if you're gonna be gay, just don't be a faggot about it, all right?
That's the one.
Oh, gay people actually did my favorite thing ever a while back, you know? Out of nowhere, all these pedophiles started coming out of the woodwork saying, "We are proud pedophiles. We have pedo pride. And you know what? We are part of that LGBTQIAP plus community." And then for like a day, the whole country just went, "Fuck! Are we gonna have to start supporting pedophiles now?" I just imagine dads sitting their little daughters down going, "Listen, sweetheart, Daddy can't protect you from the strange man that lives down the street anymore because Daddy doesn't want to get charged with a hate crime and get forced to quit his job." Luckily, they came out and said, "Yeah, no, absolutely not. We're pretty accepting over here, but that's too far even for us. Not here, bro, not here." If we want to talk political movements, though, I think there's one in this country that can unify both genders, man and woman. I'll break it down for both genders. It's the Free the Nipple movement. Let me explain. Ladies, I think this is the one thing you guys can do better than men. On average, shirtless women look much better than shirtless men. Men, who doesn't want to see tits in public? You know? We go home and watch porn every night anyways. Take our pleasure at work with us. Some of my more conservative audience members might be thinking, well, what about kids? Kids shouldn't see tits in public. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, that's a free sex ed lesson. Choose your battles, people. What do you really want to put your energy into fighting? God, I wish there was alcohol in that. Fucking California's on fire. Show of hands, who wasn't born in California? Alright, anyone raising your hands right now? Y'all fucking did it wrong. I grew up here, and it's been rad, let me tell you. Living here actually taught me a lot of things, you know? Make peace with your God before you get on the freeway with the other psychopaths, because you're probably gonna die. Keep your political beliefs to yourself if you want to have friends. Don't bother working, because half your paychecks go to the communist regime that runs the state anyways. And probably the most important, if you want to find good Mexican food, you gotta go to the place that looks like you're gonna get stabbed when you walk in.
Yeah.
I see a lot of laughs. Some people might be skeptical of this. I'll explain. Some of you might be thinking, where's he gonna go with this? Trust me, it's gonna be pretty fun. A while back, my dad, uncle, and I were out to eat in a restaurant, you know, before that became a felony. And we're sitting next to a window. And this homeless lady walks up, and she's wearing a V-cut dress. Now, when I say V-cut dress, it was more of a V-cut dress, because this woman's tits are hanging out. I know some of you might be thinking, well, were they at least nice? No, they were not. Let me tell you something, guys. Homeless boobs are much different than porn star boobs, all right? It's false advertising, if you ask me. This lady should not free the nipple, ever. No, but this lady's staring at us, and we make eye contact, and she stops, walks into the parking lot that's behind her, comes back, white shit all over her face. My uncle sees this, stands up in the middle of the restaurant and screams, "She's a fucking warlock!" My dad, being the genius he is, decides to get up and go have a conversation with this nice lady. My uncle becomes convinced that he just got his soul taken, so he beelines it for the back door. And it was during this chaos I was thinking, wow, this is a good-ass breakfast burrito. So point proven. I love crazy people and tweakers like that, man. I actually had the greatest people watching experience ever. Now, for those of you that don't know, if you're ever bored, grab a couple buddies, wait for the sun to go down, go out people watching. You'll be the most entertained you've ever been in your entire fucking life, I promise you. My favorite people watching experience, my buddy and I were fishing in the San Diego Bay. Now, for those of you that don't know, downtown San Diego is like the mecca for homeless people. And we're wrapping up, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and this homeless dude comes walking up behind us. And this dude's screaming, "That bitch is a fucking liar! She don't know what the fuck she's talking about! I don't eat people! She's the cannibal, not me! I don't eat people! I only chew on them a little bit! I only chew on penis membrane! I don't eat it, so I'm not a cannibal!" Screaming this nonsense at the top of his lungs. Like, this dude wanted God to know he wasn't a cannibal. That was probably like 3 years ago, and I still think about that dude every single day. People watching actually saved a relationship of mine at one point. It turned the worst date that I've ever been on into the greatest experience of my entire life. My ex-girlfriend dragged me out to a roller skating rink for her birthday, along with her sister who's a little older than us. So naturally I was already pissed. And we get there and she pulls me aside and she goes, "Hey, just to let you know, there's this guy, when he comes here, he always tries to hit on my older sister. And so it's really weird. He's like 45 years old, so just try and keep an eye out for him, all right?" I thought, all right, whatever, I'll deal with this. About 2 hours goes by, and I see this guy walk in. Now, when I describe him to you, I want you all to know that I'm not making any of this shit up at all. Bleach blonde comb over for a haircut, bleach blonde goatee, disco ball necklace, and to top it all off, rainbow light up roller skates. This dude realizes we're here and comes skating in and starts trying to flirt with her older sister. Now, I saw him coming, and I tap my ex on the shoulder. I go, "Hey, he's here." And she looks at me and she goes, "How'd you know that was him?" I looked at her, I told her, "You're gonna tell me this dude comes into a roller skating rink at 9:30 p.m. on a Tuesday night, and you're gonna tell me you didn't automatically assume he was a sex offender? What's wrong with you? How could you possibly miss that?" This guy skates over and drops the best pickup line I've ever heard in my life. He skates over to my ex's older sister and goes, "Excuse me, remind me of your name? I'd be able to recall it, but our past lives are screaming at each other." Yeah, dude, that is the pickup line that's gonna land you a girlfriend 2 decades younger than you. She obviously panics. I'm sitting there crying, laughing. Later, I told her that you should have just followed up with something equally as crazy, just to see if he had like some sort of comeback for where this conversation could go. Something like, "Yes, but with this connection we seem to have, who needs names?" Like, that dude was my favorite person I've ever met in my entire life. And my favorite part about him was, we looked it up afterwards, turns out he's a musician, a YouTuber, he's a teacher, and the leader of a small cult. I like people watching. My only issue is sometimes I seem to take it a little too far. I developed a game to mess with strangers while you people watch, purely because I realized that strangers, when they have to interact with strangers they're not ready to interact with, just panic. So this is how the game works. I developed this being under the influence of being bored on a cruise ship and a significant amount of alcohol. And so this is the way the game works. You stop someone, you point at them, you go, "Hey, it was you, wasn't it?" And they'll just panic. And when they try to ask you what you're talking about, you just kind of double down. You go, "Yeah, it was totally you." If you have a buddy with you, you have them get on it. Like, "Yeah, dude, it was them. I totally watched them do it." The only issue with this game is that I realize that when you try to do this, people will just start admitting to random shit that they've done recently. I stopped a dude in a hallway. I went, "Hey, it was you, wasn't it?" He looks at me and goes, "What are you talking about?" I just kind of kept going. I went, "It was you, wasn't it?" And he goes, "Yeah, it was me. I took a shit in the elevator." I couldn't hold it. I didn't know what to do. Even after this, I stopped a different person. I went, "Hey, it was you, wasn't it?" He looks at me with like the meanest look ever. He goes, "How'd you find out?" I panicked, but I'm more curious than that, so I didn't stop. I went, "It was you, wasn't it?" He goes, "Yeah, I was fucking a bitch in the bathroom." He was too loud, wasn't he? Shit, I knew I should have moved. Like I said, no issue with gay people. No, we're having fun tonight, but I'm gonna get a little political right now. Fat pride, let's talk about it. Like I said, COVID's been interesting for everybody. It hasn't exactly had positive effects on everybody. Like this one woman I saw, I walk into a restaurant with my family, and I see this behemoth of a woman sitting there. Like, she took the lockdown to so far of an extreme that even if we were allowed to go for walks outside, she wouldn't be able to go for a walk outside. And she's sitting there eating through a hole in her mask, which seems kind of counterproductive if you ask me, but to each their own. And she's licking butter off of her gloved hands. But then she has the nerve to give me a shitty look when I walk in without wearing a mask. Like, bitch, you're 700 pounds. You're gonna lose a leg before you die of COVID. Out of the two of us here, who's kind of harming your health here? Let's talk about that. I don't want to be a dick though, so let's make this deal. I'll put my mask on if you can go for a run. How about that? Now, if we're gonna get political though, anyone who knows me knows I've been paying way too damn much attention to this election. Now, I'm not here to piss anyone off. I'm not here to make anyone mad or anything like that. I'm not here to choose sides. I only know a couple of things. The first thing I know is that half the country can't stand the other half and vice versa. I also think that I know a good solution to this election. What I think we should do is the loser of this election has to leave and go set up their own government in Canada like they said they would. I know what you guys are thinking. What about the Canadians? Don't worry, they're Canadian. They don't like confrontation. They pay us to be their military, all right? No, what we do is we let them go for 4 years. And then come election time, 2025, 2024, whatever, we have a war along the northern border. The winning side gets both governments. The losing side, survivors, get sold into slavery. That's how we've settled political differences for centuries. I think it's time we go back to our roots, people. I want to leave you guys with this. When I first started doing stand-up comedy, I was fucking fat bitches. No, I'm kidding. When I first started doing stand-up comedy, a lot of people ask me, why stand-up? What about it do you like? Like, what made you want to do that? And to be honest, it's because I can't sing for shit. No, truth be told, when I was little, I really wanted to sing. Mostly because I realized the attention from women that singers get. Turns out comedians, we don't get the same kind of benefits. Have you seen the groupies that hang around comedians? They're all fat crack whores. Which shouldn't scientifically be possible, but... Funny enough, my brother actually makes music. He's a DJ. And we actually have a lot in common, we both dropped out of college after our first year. We both struggle financially. We both want to entertain. Well, I do. He just kind of makes noise, but... But I pitched him this idea of like a group performance, my comedy, his music. I told him we can call it Our Parents Hate Us. No, they don't. No, the real reason that I wanted to do stand-up comedy was because I wanted to show everybody that things didn't need to be as serious as people were making them. So whether you love the show or whether you hated it, go out tonight, have a good time with your friends, share a couple laughs, treat everybody as well as you possibly can, subscribe to J1S Comedy on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Go out. Thank you guys for so much for coming out. You guys are fucking awesome. I appreciate each and every one of you. Tell your friends. We're gonna get more people out here. We'll do more live shows. Hopefully with a little better planning on my part. Let's take a selfie, shit. All you motherfuckers look up at me right now.
Take it
Get in the frame,
sideways.
get in the frame, act like you like each other even though you don't know each other.
Take it sideways.
Perfect. Alright, thank you guys a ton for coming out here. If you guys want to show your friends this, it's going to be up on my YouTube later tonight, hopefully. This is J1S Comedy. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Woo!